What if I told you that the first $10,000 you save can completely change how money treats you for the rest of your life? Not because it's a massive amount, but because of what it unlocks in your mindset and your options. Stay till the end of this series because most people save this money and still stay broke. Let's clear something up right away. Saving $10,000 won't make you retire early. It won't let you retire early. And it definitely won't buy you a luxury lifestyle. But here's what no one really talks about. It permanently shifts your financial gravity. Before 10,000, money controls you. After 10,000, you start controlling money. And in this series, I'm going to break down exactly how your financial life changes once you cross this milestone and how to use it the smart way instead of blowing it like most people do. Up until this point, money probably felt tight. Unexpected bills felt scary. Missing a paycheck felt like a disaster. But once you save your first $10,000, something powerful happens. You stop operating in survival mode. You're no longer panicking over small emergencies, car repairs, or one bad month ruining everything. Instead, you gain financial breathing room. And that changes how you think, how you act, and how you make decisions. This is the moment where you stop asking, how do I survive this month? And start asking, how do I position myself for the next 5 years? That mental shift alone puts you ahead of most people. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Money doesn't buy happiness, but money does buy options. And options are power. With $10,000 saved, you don't feel trapped in a bad job anymore. You can walk away from toxic situations. You can take calculated risks instead of desperate ones. You might not quit your job tomorrow, but knowing you could if things went wrong changes everything. That confidence shows up in ways you don't expect. You negotiate better. You say no more often. You stop settling for less than you deserve. This is where real financial confidence begins, not at $1 million, but right here. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people save $10,000 and then immediately sabotage themselves. They buy a flashy car, they upgrade their lifestyle, they ward themselves right back to zero. They treat $10,000 like a finish line, when in reality it's just the starting point. $10,000 isn't the destination. It's the launch pad. Use it wrong, and nothing changes. Use it right, and it can quietly compound into freedom. In the next part, I'm going to show you exactly what smart people do differently once they hit this number, including where not to put this money if you actually want it to grow. If you've already saved $10,000 or you're working toward it, comment 10K below. And make sure you like this video and subscribe because part 2 is where things get real. And you won't believe how one small decision here can either fast-track your financial future or hold you back for years. Here's where things start to separate people who build real wealth from people who stay stuck, even after saving $10,000. Because the truth is, what you do next matters more than how hard it was to save it in the first place. This is the part most people get completely wrong. So stay with me. The biggest mistake people make after hitting $10,000 is treating it like spending money instead of strategy money. They tell themselves they deserve a reward, a nicer car, a bigger apartment, or a lifestyle upgrade that looks successful but actually locks them back into stress. The moment your monthly expenses rise, that $10,000 stops being freedom and starts being a memory. Smart people do the opposite. The first thing they protect is liquidity. That means a portion of this money stays boring, safe, and accessible. Not for vacations, not for shopping, but for stability. Because real confidence doesn't come from showing off. It comes from knowing that one unexpected problem won't wreck your life. When your emergencies are covered, your brain is finally free to think long-term. The next smart move is resisting the urge to invest. Just to invest. This is where people rush into crypto, risky stocks, or business ideas they don't fully understand because they're excited to make the money grow fast. But $10,000 isn't about swinging for the fences. It's about building a solid base. Losing half of it chasing quick wins sets you back, mentally and financially more than you realize. Instead, this stage is about learning how money works. You start investing carefully, consistently, and intentionally. You focus on understanding before returns. You think in years, not weeks. The goal isn't to turn 10,000 into $1 million overnight. The goal is to become the type of person who knows how to handle $1 million when it shows up. Another huge shift happens here, and most people miss it. Your time starts to matter more than your money. Once you have a cushion, you can invest in skills, education, or tools that increase your earning power. Courses, certifications, better equipment, or even time to think and plan without panic. These things don't feel exciting at first, but they pay dividends long after the money itself is gone. This is also where discipline becomes your biggest asset. You don't touch this money to impress people. You don't use it to keep up with lifestyles you see online. You keep your expenses stable while your income and knowledge grow. That gap between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth actually forms. Here's the part most people don't realize until it's too late. The way you handle your first 10,000 is how you'll handle every bigger amount that comes later. If you rush, gamble, or spend it emotionally now, you'll do the same at 50,000 and 100,000. But if you move with intention here, everything that comes next becomes easier. In part 3, I'm going to show you how $10,000 quietly changes your identity, your habits, and your future decisions, and how to use that momentum to build real, long-term financial freedom instead of temporary progress. If this is making you rethink how you'd handle your first 10,000, like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the final part. And comment, ready if you're prepared to use your money differently this time. By the time you reach $10,000 in savings, something deeper than your bank balance has already changed. Even if you haven't noticed it yet, this is the part no one talks about. But it's the reason this milestone matters so much. It doesn't just change your money, it changes who you become. You start to see yourself differently. You're no longer someone who's bad with money or always catching up. You're someone who can plan, delay gratification, and follow through. That identity shift is powerful because once you see yourself as financially capable, your behavior naturally changes. You think before spending. You question impulse buys. You start making decisions based on your future, not just how you feel today. Your habits quietly level up too. You track your money without fear. You review your accounts instead of avoiding them. You stop hoping things will work out and start making them work out. These aren't dramatic changes, but they compound fast. And over time, they matter more than any single investment ever could. Another subtle shift happens in how you react to opportunities. When you were broke, every opportunity felt risky. You couldn't afford mistakes. Now, you can evaluate options calmly. You can say yes to the right things and no to the wrong ones. You don't jump at everything, and you don't freeze either. You move with intention. This is where momentum kicks in. Saving the first 10,000 proves to your brain that progress is possible. So the next goal feels achievable. 20,000 doesn't sound crazy anymore. Investing consistently doesn't feel intimidating. You stop thinking in terms of if and start thinking in terms of when. And here's the biggest advantage of all. You stop rushing. People who stay broke are always in a hurry to spend, to invest, to get rich fast. But once you've built a base, you understand that real wealth is built slowly, quietly, and consistently. You stop chasing shortcuts and start trusting systems. $10,000 won't change your life overnight, but it will change the direction of your life permanently if you let it. It's the point where panic turns into patience, where reaction turns into strategy, and where wishful thinking turns into intentional action. If you've made it this far, that already tells me you're thinking differently. So here's your move. Like the video so more people hear this message. Subscribe if you're serious about building real financial freedom, not just quick wins. And comment next level if you're ready to turn this milestone into something much bigger. This isn't the end, it's the beginning.